For analyzing this case, we're going to be covering four main topics. Starting with the first topic, mapping of global value chains. Where are Christmas ornaments and decorations made and who makes them? The main manufacturer of Christmas products such as ornaments and decorations are manufactured in the country of China by small manufacturers, most of whom have their factories on the outskirts of two large cities. They manufacture throughout the year in order to meet the demand that there will be at Christmas, and normally they are Chinese factories that are in charge of carrying out all of these orders because in that area of labor, the labor cost is usually very cheap and the materials can be obtained very easily. What are the activities involved in the global value chain activities? The value chain begins with a company, which in this case is Walmart, and it must look for a company that is convenient for it to place the order with them. Later, the factory must carry out its request to manufacture it, and once having this, they can go to the next point where the shipping companies enter. The factory must look for a shipping company which can send the product to Walmart in a container at an indicated time. Since normally from China to the United States, it's an approximate transport time of 21 days. And once the product leaves China for the United States, in the United States, the logistics company must pick up the product with a control area to be able to take it to the Walmart warehouses. Who are the actors involved in each of the stages of the global value chain? The main actors involved in the value chain are mainly the company that places the order, which in this case will be Walmart, the company to which the order is placed, then the shipping company that must be in charge of delivering the products in the estimated time, and finally, the Walmart stockists, which receive the product. Now, entering topic number 2, the places involved in the production/global value chain of Christmas decorations. Why Santa's workshop in China and not on the North Pole? Well, it is mainly because it is very cheap in China, which drastically reduces the cost of any product made. And the second reason is that it is one of the main manufacturing countries of any product, which is very easy to find the raw material and there is good quality. How can small local companies compete with the large-scale manufacturers? Well, the easiest way for them to be able to compete with the large companies is to have factories in the outskirts part of the city, which reduces the cost of renting or building a factory. Looking for cheap labor in towns and trying to find suppliers that can help us give the raw material at a special price by making agreements, such as that we can buy our next orders from them, and that they can give us also a great discount in the end by having that continuous relationship. Topic 3, leading multinational companies and the global value chains. This is one of the most important topics to analyze in the case. Why not do large multinational leading companies like Walmart own their own supply chain and run them on a large scale? Well, one of the main reasons is that Walmart decreased the cost within the supply chain to be able to offer lower prices to its customers in their stores. And they do this to work directly with the manufacturers of the products in the markets, and in this way they don't depend on third parties to purchase the products. One example of this is an administrative inventory initiative applied by a supplier known as BMI, which seeks that the same manufacturers take over their products within the warehouse, and in this way they are the ones that keep the inventory and should know when to send more product. In this way, Walmart manages to reduce their inventory and transportation control costs, and thus they end up offering that better price to their customers. Why subcontract offshore so many small companies? Walmart uses small businesses as they make artisanal products. This because they can offer a low cost and quality ornaments to sell then in their store afterwards. Which are the risks for Walmart in leading such a long chain? The main problem that they have is that due to the stoppage of activities, there is a shortage of certain products. A clear example of this is what happened with the antibacterial gel during the COVID-19 pandemic. The demand for that product was very high and the prices drastically increased, making people unable to access and purchase these products. Another important point is that by having such a large supply chain, they may have communication problems as well as logistic problems. Which risks do you observe in the case of Christmas in March from the point of view of global value chains in 2021? Well, the main problem is a lack of control within the production process with small companies, as well as a lack of quality control. Another important point to take in consideration here is that they may have problems of shortage, lack of raw material, or lack of transport service, and therefore they should have another service that will offer them a greater certainty in their value chain. What risks prevail for the year of 2022, and what are the risks that you're envisioning for the year 2023? Well, the main risks we can find are the changes that may exist in the demand for the products, as was in the case with the antibacterial gel, which had a high demand and there was a shortage of it. Another risk is that you may have a failure of a supplier, and in this way you cannot meet the demand of the product. In the case of the Christmas items, they should consider and having a security provider in case you have problems to deliver. How serious is the risk of closing cities in China due to the COVID policy in 2022? Well, because China is one of the cities that has a greater manufacture of products and the parts that are shipped to different parts of the world, it can bring problems of shortages. Because when closed by the policy of COVID-19, work is suspended and they may not send any product. This means that many companies may have some problems with the manufacture of their products, causing them to stop the production for the lack of accessories. What should Walmart do? Does ordering even earlier solve the problem? I believe that buying in advance will not be a viable solution, since there may be some problem that does not allow to meet the demand, and therefore you can end up having the same problem. Therefore, I will propose to perform an analysis of other potential suppliers in order to have a backup plan and thus avoid losses. Could Walmart build its own factories to avoid relying on multiple middlemen? Walmart should be able to build its own factories, since this will increase all the processes from the most minimal, since by not depending on different distributors, it facilitates the processes and any type of delivery can be coordinated in a more easy way. Could and should Walmart force contractors to move to Southeast Asia or back to the US/Europe? Well, there are 2 points of view in this that I would like to mention. If contractors move to Southeast Asia, they could look for new manufacturers, since the labor costs are cheaper there than in China. But also, if they will move back to the United States/Europe, their delivery times will be faster, there will be less maritime traffic, and transportation costs will be lower as well. So I recommend Walmart to do a deep analysis and determine whether they want labor or transportation costs to be lower in their value chain. Now, the last topic is topic number 4, communication multicultural teams. What changes do you identify in the consumption pattern of U.S. consumers in purchasing Christmas ornaments? In 2021, there was a great demand for Christmas items. Christmas item supplier benefited greatly from this, but he was concerned that this demand will last only for a short while, since the demand could have only been in 2021, and in 2022 it could return to its normal and lower state. And lastly, are these changes in the pattern of consumption also observed in Latin American countries, and why? These changes were seen all over the world due to the pandemic that reduced the delivery lines and decreased sea lanes, thus making the famous bottleneck. I am done. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.